You have to ask yourself, how could I have possibly been poisoned by mercury by working in a chlor-alkali plant? I want to share with you how and why. First, to understand how this is a possibility, you have to understand a little bit about mercury and mercury in our universe and how it interacts with the human body as well as the environment that a person finds themselves in. So let's talk about this mercury vaporization. What is that? If I brought into your room a cup of coffee and it was full of mercury and it wasn't covered with water and it was open to the environment, at room temperature at 70, 72 degrees, it is vaporizing. It is creating a toxic fume as it off-gasses into the room. So it's much like radiation. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, but it is harming you. Mercury vaporizes at room temperature, and as room temperatures increase, that vaporization rate increases. So when the mercury is airborne into this toxic fume, it travels through the environment it finds itself in. It is absorbed into all metallic and other surfaces. So if a plant has been in operation for 50, 75, 100 years, producing chlorine using elemental mercury, all of the component parts, the systems, the structures of that facility will be highly absorbed with mercury, and they themselves will be a source of mercury toxic exposure. The structure of the building is off-gassing this toxic fume. The equipment, the pipes, the parts, the tools, all aspects of the production facility, even the concrete floor, is a source for mercury vapor emissions. So in reality, you're working in an environment that is full of a toxic fume that you're breathing into your body every day. And that fume, that toxic fume that you're breathing, is a gross neurotoxin that kills neurons in your body. It will affect potentially all major organ systems of your body as well as your brain. It causes brain damage. But even more important than that, this mercury fume has been absorbed in the clothes that you wear, the boots that you wear, your underclothes, your socks, your shoes, your overcoats, your coveralls. If you are taking these garments home, you are bringing that toxic fume into your family. You are exposing them to this toxic hazard. And importantly, children are highly susceptible to mercury toxicity. Children are 100 times more susceptible to brain injury as a result of mercury exposure than adult humans. And it makes sense. The child's brain is developing, and as that brain develops exponentially compared to those of adults with developed brains, that damage to those neurons is even more critical. Childhood exposure to mercury became such a great concern in this country that Congress initiated a special study to study the impacts of mercury and mercury exposure to children. So, when you ask yourself, how could I have been exposed? You need to really ask yourself, how bad was I exposed? And did I expose my family?